So I'm gonna do a mini review of Hamlet and Haider, and basically I'm just gonna focus on two of its biggest two of the biggest differences between the pieces of work and how it affects the readers. So I think uh, probably the biggest way that they are different is probably the way that Claudius dies, and in Hamlet, Claudius, and in Haider, it's Karam. In Hamlet, Claudius is obviously killed by Hamlet, stabbed to death, and then in Haider, Haider does not actually kill Karam. Instead, Karam is left to die a long and painful death by himself. And I think what this really does is that I think we can relate this back to the Cornel West video that we saw, where Cornel West was talking about how Hamlet is really like an anti-war play, and I think that really is true because in Shakespeare's version of Hamlet, um, Hamlet gets to kill Claudius, and I think that is driven by revenge, and much of the story is driven by revenge, and I think we can see what revenge really does. I think obviously we see that mostly every like main character dies. Okay, so I kind of switched from that location because it was really loud. But I think what was I saying? I was talking about how basically every main character had been killed in Hamlet, and also Denmark was pretty much at ruins. And I think that's mainly because it was to show how what negative consequences of revenge was, which was Shakespeare's theme. Shakespeare's theme, and I guess lesson in a way, was to show us how and why revenge shouldn't always be our first, I don't know, instinct, I guess, and we shouldn't let us consume us. And I think the director of Haider really does a good job with that because he obviously shows through Haider that revenge isn't the answer, and that is shown when he doesn't kill Karam. Again, it's just they're both the same. They're both Hamlet and Haider have the same premise, except that they go about it different ways. Hamlet goes about it by showing what happens if revenge does take over, and Haider goes about it by saying what happens when revenge doesn't take over, and also I think it's a not just it's a good way to approach the character of Haider. I think in a way it makes him a more emotional, more complex character. Now Hamlet's very complex. I think we can see that through his many soliloquies. But I think with Haider, he does a really good job. The director does a really good job because we can see that Haider's not all about revenge, and I think in Hamlet we continuously see that Hamlet becomes more about revenge throughout the book, and he becomes consumed by this. And Haider, we can see a bit of forgiveness creeping in, which is important, which is, I guess, a good side of Hamlet / Haider to show. And also, I think if they were to change anything, and they changed quite a bit, but if they were to change anything, that would be how Hamlet kills Claudius would be a good spot to change it, because an adaptation can't stay exactly like the original. If then it loses its magic, it loses the adaptation's magic, and I think what Haider does is very good and very well timed in showing the message that Hamlet wants to show. And also another difference that is quite big and is important between the Haider and Hamlet is Hamlet's to be or not to be soliloquy, which in Hamlet it is more Hamlet is speaking to himself. It's a soliloquy. Um, he is deep in his thoughts, and he's questioning life, questioning God. And in Haider, he is the equivalent of in that to Haider would be when he was speaking to the crowd in the public square. Um, Now, obviously, this shows two different sides, two different characters, like two different I guess interpretations of Hamlet. Um, Hader is a more vocal, he's a more revolutionary, more inspiring character, and I think that fits well into the movie's political themes. I think that serves really well for that. Um, but again, Hamlet is more, I guess, quiet. More, he's more in his feels. What both soliloquies do for the character is that it just shows two different sides. I think what Hader does really well by giving Hader a more political platform is that it shows I guess in a way the more princely, if you could say, if that's a word, princely sides of Hader. I mean, Hamlet is supposed to be a prince, so I obviously he's supposed to rule, but in Hamlet we don't see much of that. We only see the emotional side to Hamlet, and that's really understandable because it is an emotional drama. But I think in Hader, what really shows Hader's kind of leadership, his ability to rally people, his ability to question things. Yeah, and I think that's a really the one similarity between the both soliloquies um, is the theme of questioning a higher authority. Hamlet questions God. He's questioning is suicide even that bad? And in Hader, he's obviously questioning the political establishment. Um, he's questioning the Indian government basically. And he's saying how they're hypocrites, and he's getting people to follow into this movement. So yeah, I think what that does, what both to be or not to be soliloquies kind of does is just show two different sides of character, two different sides of Hamlet. One a more melancholy, one more solemn character in Hamlet. Um, and what Hader does is show a more active, more revolutionary character. Also, the last thing I want to touch on is the way Polonius is not sorry, not Polonius, Claudius. Claudius is characterized in both works of art. In Hamlet, there's a certain extent of sympathy audiences can feel for Claudius in both Hamlet and Hader, but I think we can feel a little bit more sympathy for Hader. No, sorry, Kuram in Hader, mainly because of his intentions. I think in Hamlet, we get the sense that Claudius marries his Hamlet's mother just for power, and he really doesn't have that much love for her. So I think that theme or that element makes him a little shady. It makes him a little more evil, and makes him a little more disconnected from the audiences. So that's easier to dislike him. But with Karam, I think we can see that Karam actually does like Ghazala. While he does want the political position, while he does want power, Um, it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with Hamlet's father per se. His main motive was to get that political position, but then also marry um, Gazala. So I think we can. I think audiences can feel a little bit more sympathy for him just because his intentions were more. I guess lack for a better word, sincere. Obviously, they're both really evil, well, at least shady characters. Um, but I think it's a nice twist that they give to Karam, just because it shows a little more complexity. Sorry, to his character. I think in Hamlet he's a little bit more flat. We don't see much from him. We know that he's evil, and we know that he does bad things. But in Haider, he's a little bit more round, more he's three dimensional. We can see his inner workings, his inner thoughts in a way. We can see the many personalities of Karam. I think he's just a deeper character than Claudius is in Hamlet. Which makes Karam a little bit more likable in a way. But just to be clear, they're both very they're evil characters for a reason. They're the antagonists for a reason. Um, so yeah, that's my little mini analysis of the differences between Hader and Hamlet. Um, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.